Hey guys, it's Angie. Welcome to day 4 on just trying to get through this journey, right? I mean, we're really trying to take care of ourselves as we struggle through the process of infertility, going through IVF, miscarrying. It's just a huge emotional process. And while that is difficult enough, we also have to focus on our physical fitness. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. And luckily, this is my forte. I love exercise and fitness, and it's my background, it's my area of expertise, it's what I went to school for, and it's a part of my career. So I know that this topic is tough because we are, already physically going through so much in this process that the thought of actually, trying to exercise or trying to eat well is just in the back of our mind because we're just really focusing on and we're so preoccupied with this process itself and with the emotional piece that comes along with this. But the reality is, healthy moms make healthy babies, and strong moms make strong babies. And so when I started going through this journey, I knew that my fitness was going to be compromised. I knew that there were going to be days when I didn't feel like working out. I knew there were going to be days when, working out was the last thing on my mind, that I didn't want to eat clean. I knew, hey, Lex, I knew there were going to be days where I didn't, I drink a meal replacement shake every day that's just full of natural vitamins. I knew there were going to be days where I didn't feel like drinking it for breakfast because I wanted to, whatever, my body was craving something else or, whatever. But I just kept telling myself that strong mommies make strong babies, healthy mommies make healthy babies. It's the truth. It's the absolute truth. So that's why physical fitness has to be a part of this journey and a very, very important part. Not only do we need to take care of ourselves emotionally, but we also have to take care of ourselves physically. Now, let me also say, first and foremost, you need to make sure you get your doctor's recommendations. Your doctor might want you to be inactive throughout the whole process, which luckily my doctor wasn't, because I also needed that physical exercise for an outlet for a stress reliever. So, but I definitely listened to my doctor, and when he said, there's times where you have to do low impact, you can't jump around. One of my favorite workout programs is called Turbo, and it's I teach a class. It's kickboxing. It's mixed with a little bit of dance, and it's like my favorite workout of the week, and it's a huge part of my life as well. I've got a huge community that loves the class. The music's awesome. I mean, every time we come together, it's just like a big dance party for an hour. So I hated having to miss that, but there were times where I wasn't able to teach that class. I wasn't able to take that class. I wasn't able to do the workout DVD at home because, with stims, your ovaries grow to the size of oranges, and you have to be careful that those don't get twisted. That's very dangerous. So, there were times where my doc would say, you can only do low impact, or I don't want you working out at all. Of course, after the transfer, and again, every doctor's different, I was on 48 hours of bed rest, followed by 10 days of no activity. I was allowed to go outside and walk around my cul-de-sac. But I listened, followed doctor's orders, and I enjoyed that, having that downtime of not exercising, and I occupied myself in other things, but I digress. So first and foremost is always, figure out from your doctor what you're able to do. Typical rule of thumb in terms of normal pregnancy is if you were doing something before you got pregnant, you can continue to do that activity once you get pregnant. Of course, we're special cases. We are not the norm. So that's why, I can't stress enough, because maybe you are on exercise lockdown right now and you can't do anything. Then my suggestion would be to really focus on the nutrition piece, because that's so important too. I think exercise is great because it's a stress reliever also. Basically what happens is when you exercise, when you get your heart rate up, when you start sweating, your body releases a chemical called endorphins. And endorphins sends a signal to your brain that kind of acts like a source of morphine. Like your body feels no pain, it just feels good. And so I'm sure you've heard of like the runner's high. The same thing with any exercise program. Your body's releasing endorphins, those feel good hormones that we really need during this time. And so that's a really important part of physical fitness. Also, 2 other reasons why physical fitness is important, aside just from maintaining weight or losing weight or getting your heart healthy. I'm talking about deeper stuff here, not just the endorphins, but I also think for me, I got some personal satisfaction out of my workouts. It was something that I could control. It was something that I could challenge myself with and feel a sense of accomplishment after my workout was done, which helped me feel good about myself, which helped me transition that over to this journey. If I can be successful in this workout that I didn't necessarily feel like doing today, I can be successful in this area too. And so it just gives you this sense of personal satisfaction and accomplishment. And we need those really, really small wins in this journey sometimes when it gets rough, right? I'm right. And then the third reason why exercise is really important during this journey is because it can become part of your routine. And hey, Alexis, thanks for joining. And we are creatures of habit by nature. And so when we feel like we are consumed by everything else going through this infertility journey, it's nice to be able to focus on a routine because it gives us a sense of normalcy in our lives. And so that's important too. So if you're just jumping on, really quick recap, I talked about 3 reasons why physical fitness is important during this journey. After, of course, making sure that you listen to your doctor and you get all of his or her guidelines. And these aren't just, get your heart rate up, it helps you lose weight, burn calories. These are deeper reasons, being it releases endorphins, and we need that chemical to help us feel good about our journey. It gives us a sense of personal satisfaction and a sense of accomplishment. And third is it helps create routine for us, which gives us a little sense of normalcy. So that's super, super important. Along with, I'm glad you agree, Jessica. I know the hard part is sometimes we can't do it. We can't exercise. And during those times, because again, healthy moms equal healthy babies, we really have to focus on our nutrition too. And that's hard because when we're taking these meds and we're going through this process, we feel like, I need to treat myself, or, I just feel like eating this instead. I'm not motivated, or I'm feeling blessed, so I'm going to go pick up a cookie, or, whatever. Our nutrition is so important too. Again, listening to your doctor's recommendations in terms of guidelines and prenatals and all of that stuff. I try to stay a little more natural, and so I do drink like an all-natural health shake that I got my doctor to approve because we compared the ingredients in the shake that I'm drinking and compared the ingredients to what's in prenatals. And I know that my body will absorb the powder and the shake quicker than it will a pill. Again, every situation is different. Aside from that, we want to just follow healthy eating and portion control. So I don't know what your experience has been. For me, I put on 10 pounds. And when I really started to put on is when I had to start doing the progesterone oil shots. That's when like my weight kicked in. Like I was good during the first half, and then, doing those hormones, man, they do a jingle on your body for sure. And so my pants are fitting tighter, and I was feeling bad about myself. I didn't like how I looked. I didn't like, that I could see more cellulite like on my thighs and my stomach. I couldn't button my jeans. I stopped wearing jeans altogether. I was bloated. I mean, hopefully I'm not alone in this because that's rough. And then, to be left with failure and extra weight is even more frustrating. But since I had been exercising prior to, I knew that I could get back to where I was, just as women do when they have a baby. And that's why it's important to be proactive in our nutrition and in our physical fitness. Oops, I gotta make sure I have my notes pulled up here. In our nutrition and our physical fitness, as we move along the journey. So if you don't know where to start in terms of nutrition, again, talk to your doctor and find out their recommendations. Maybe they have a dietitian on staff that they'll let you talk to. You can do your own research. follow the food guide pyramid. It's myfoodpyramid.gov, G-O-V. It has a breakdown of, general nutrition of what you should be eating and how much you should be consuming. What would you recommend for when the doctor says high protein, high sodium diet for after retrieval? My doctor also recommended that afterwards, and lucky for me, I love salt. I love salty foods. So I had a lot of chicken noodle soup, and I didn't make low sodium soup. Like, I made homemade soup because they also say that, like, the heat, the broth is good, the warmth is good for your uterus. So I had a ton of chicken noodle soup. I didn't necessarily like this, sodium really isn't good for your blood pressure, but when they recommend it in terms of your diet for IVF, then I like soy sauce, but there's a healthier alternative. It's called liquid aminos, and it has less sodium than soy, but it has that soy taste to it, so it is higher in sodium, but it also has aminos, which are good for the body, so I would have that too. Your meats, as long as you're a meat eater, then that's a good option for you too. So hopefully, my doctor gave us suggestions in terms of what I could have and what I should stay away from. But what's more important, coconut aminos, so good. We put that on a lot of the meats that we grill, and I'll put it in like broth and pasta sauces and stuff like that. You'll like it, Lexi, Lex. Tons of water, that's really, really important too. But aside from what we're eating, we also need to focus on portions, because I don't know about you guys, but my worst time at night is after dinner. I sit down, and when I couldn't be as active, then I would just sit and eat. Yes. Oh, okay. Lexi, I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah. Put it on your steak. Try it. Let me know how you like it. I would love to hear. So I wouldn't binge, but I definitely ate a lot when I wasn't hungry. And that's because I was trying to keep my mind occupied, and because, I had to be a little more inactive. So I was looking for something to do. So when we go through this again, I'm really just going to focus on my portions, because I don't want to overstuff my body. And we know, our food is processed differently when we have meds and hormones. And it can cause weight gain. So I definitely would not ever attempt to undereat or diet when you're going through this process. Just be very aware of everything that you're putting into your mouth. And, I think I was watching the Khloe Kardashian weight loss show. Don't judge me. But I actually learned a lot about fitness and a lot about nutrition through that show. It's called Revenge Body. And while I don't agree with the whole concept of like you should get revenge on someone, change your body or lose weight to get revenge on somebody, if we're going through a weight loss journey, you need to be doing it for yourself. But that's a whole different topic. I did like when they met with the trainers and the information that the trainers gave them and the nutritionists gave them. And one of them said, if it had a life, then you should eat it. If it grew in the ground, or if you're not vegetarian and it came from an animal, then that's what you want to eat. Those are your natural sources. The unnatural sources are your processed foods, like things that come in a bag or things that come in a can. That kind of stuff is really what we want to stay away from, because there's a lot of additives. There's a lot of less natural ingredients in there versus whole ingredients that you can get from Whole Foods. So that's the biggest recommendation that I have for you. I'm not a nutritionist or a dietitian, but I love talking about it and love learning about it. And then your second recommendation in terms of nutrition is just controlling your portions. So don't overstuff yourself. Here in the US, unfortunately, I feel like we've been primed to eat larger portions. For me, I'm Italian. So I grew up Italian. I grew up with the 7-course meals. You don't drink anything while you're eating the 7-course meal, because you don't want your belly to fill with liquid. You want to eat as much food as you can. I remember when my mom married my stepdad when I was 4, and the first big family dinner we had with them, he was just like slapping pasta on my plate. Oh, a ton. I looked at it, I started crying, and he's like, what's the matter? And I was like, I can't eat it all, because my mom had trained us, you have to eat what's on your plate. But then growing up in that Italian family, I learned to love food. And it's something I still have to be cautious of. Think about when we go to the restaurant, how much food do they give you? It's usually double what we should be eating. So be cautious of that when you're going out to eat. You can plan ahead by looking at the menu online and decide what you're going to order before you even get there. So that way you're not even tempted to look at the menu and be tempted to get something else. You pick a healthy option, and then when you order it, you ask them, can you please bring me a box when you bring my meal? And when they bring it out to you, you immediately box half and you eat the other half, and you just drink a lot of water throughout. So, those are just some general tips that I have in terms of nutrition. If you have something that is working for you, awesome. Stick with it and keep working with your doctor. If you are at a loss or you need recommendations, it's of course what I do for a living, so I can help you with an exercise program, nutrition. We have meal plans, meal replacements, and then we have a whole community of people. We actually have a group, just like we have a group here. It's set up just like a virtual gym. So people check in every day. I go live in that group, and I give the kind of tips that I'm giving you guys about, portion control at the restaurants and things like that. So you can message me, you can comment below if you want help in that area at all. I am happy to help you. I would love to work with you. But otherwise, comment below and let us know what you're doing in terms of your exercise and your nutrition, whether it's, you are working with a dietitian and you're following a program, or I get outside 3 days a week and I walk for 20 minutes. I also think it's great if you are going through this process with a partner, and you can incorporate your partner as well, doing workouts together or going for a walk together after you get home from work and after dinner. It's also a really, really good time to connect. And, obviously fitness is a huge part of my husband and I's life. And so I struggled with that a little bit, because there were times where I couldn't work out, and he'd say, I'm going to the gym to work out. And I was like, mad. How come you can do it, but I can't? But then I had to, have a talk with myself and say, one of us needs to continue that routine and continue to exercise because it's important. So I hope that information helps you. Comment below too and let us know what kind of activities do you like to do, because sometimes saying it out loud, i.e. commenting on a Facebook post, will remind you why you enjoy doing something, and will also remind you, yeah, this is important. I really need to get back to doing this. Let's say that you love to dance, and you're not really doing anything for exercise now. It might remind you, like, yes, I love to dance. I need to do this again. It makes me feel good. Lex, you started no caffeine. Oh, good for you. CrossFit 3 times a week. Oh, that's awesome. And running. I love it. Oh, see, no, but I don't love that you've been in a funk, so you took a 2-week hiatus. That's the worst thing you could do. Okay, so Lex, or anybody else who's struggling with that too, you're like in this funk of no working out and you can't get yourself back to it. I want you to stop and think right now, how did you feel after you finished your last workout? Whether it was CrossFit, whether it was Zumba, whether it was, P90X or Insanity. How did you feel when it was done? Remind yourself, remember that feeling, and make the commitment, because you know how important it is to you. You know how important it is for this process, and you know how important it will be for your family, which includes your baby that you're going to have in the future. So when I at least talk to my clients a lot about fitness and nutrition, I talk to them about, it's not just about you, it's about your family. It's about staying healthy for the people who love you, because they want you to be here for a long time. And we know that when we don't work out and when we don't focus on clean eating, that increases our risk for a lot of stuff, you guys. I mean, heart disease, cancer, so many illnesses. Our body breaks down and we're more prone to injury by doing something random like a back tweak, things like that. So we have to think about other people and not just in terms of like, I just don't feel like it today. Well, it's just as important to the people around you who love you. And we need to do it for them too. So that's my little tough love tip for the day. Of course, surrounding all of this around your doctor's recommendations, that is first and foremost, because there are a lot of times in this process when we physically aren't able to exercise, but that's different than not wanting to exercise. So if you need more motivation too, just let me know below and I'll shoot you a private message. We can have a conversation, try to get you back into the groove and out of the funk. But I promise when you get into that routine again of exercise, it will make you feel better, you guys. And it's something that you can always rely on when you are able to do it to help you relieve stress, you know, to help you get through this time and to help just keep your body running and functioning more normally. Even though we're pumping a lot of stuff into it too. So I hope that helps. Oh, Lex, I'm so glad it helped. Thank you, you guys. Comment below any questions that you have. Shoot me a private message. I can't believe that our last day is tomorrow. I don't have a very good feeling about this. I mean, I don't know. We should see what we want to do next steps because I feel like there's so many people interacting and I hate to let you guys go. But we'll brainstorm a little. Okay, later on tonight, I promised you that I will get to affirmation stuff. So I'm either going to do another video tonight or I'm just going to do a post. So look for that too on positive affirmations and how we can figure that out and share our affirmations with each other. I think that's going to be really, really good. But I need to go shower because I just finished my workout. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much, and I appreciate your participation and how much you're supporting each other. And this has been an amazing experience so far. So thanks. I'll talk to you soon.